Drafting the Magic features the thoughts and opinions expressed by Christian Ilton, Erik Pesolano, and today's guest, and do not in any way reflect the views or opinions of the Walt Disney Company or any of its subsidiaries.
All right, Christian, here we go. Let's flip the script a little bit.
Can we please? Because, gosh, I keep losing. So flip whatever script you want, Erik.
The literal script. What I'm talking like last show out, right? We talked about things that don't exist. Well, we're going to talk about things that don't exist again, but in the opposite tense, right? Things that could exist, not that did and are gone. Now things that don't exist but should. I think it'll be fun today.
I'm actually really excited for this because this is something that every Disney fan, whether you're a new Disney fan or one that's been, that does everything as much as you can, everybody's got a dream of, oh man, how cool would it be if they made this attraction based on that ride? And that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's our first blue sky concept, to use a phrase from, the company likes to use. Sky's the limit. What can we think of that we want to see exist and that we think people would enjoy? And not only is it our first blue sky conceptual show, it's also movies based in a way, right? Mm-hmm. So now we're blending into the world we said maybe one day we'd get into, where we're not just talking about the theme parks. And yes, the theme parks are the major crux of today, but bringing the movie concept in, I think maybe we're setting ourselves up to expand our universe.
Yeah, we could. Speaking of universes, our guest judge today is so good when it comes to universes. He's actually become quite popular for it. It is Berkan Dincer. I think I said his name right. I apologize if I didn't, but welcome to the show, sir. Welcome to Drafting the Magic.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited.
Was I close? Was I close on the pronunciation?
You're close. You're close.
All right.
It's Berkan Dincer. But if it makes you feel better, on my own wedding day, we had a DJ, and every time he said my name, he said it differently. So went from Berkan, Birkin, Backen, Beer Can.
The whole works. Goodness.
I couldn't tell if I still don't know if he was just doing a joke or not, but it was funny.
Hey, well, we take it as it is. Erik, this good sir is known along in the social media realms and has made quite a name for himself. Dude, you do the greatest, I don't even know how to explain it. Like the greatest wrap-ups of cinema, whether it be the Marvel universe, which I would think is that number one at this point. But boy, did the Pixar universe, your timeline, catch some steam. Tell everybody just a little bit about what you do if they haven't heard of you yet.
Yeah, so I am a content creator under the name Big Screen Bearcon. TikTok, Instagram, do a little YouTube stuff. I'm not very good at managing my own YouTube page, but I've been doing this for a few years now. I think it's funny. I always tell people with social media, you have to keep trying and failing until you eventually find your stick. And so for years, I was trying to figure out what my content was. I mean, my very first thing I ever started was actually a Disney podcast where it was kind of matchmaking. It was like March Madness style, but Disney attractions. So when you guys reached out, I was like, oh, the nostalgia, it's right there. But eventually I kind of settled into, hey, you love movies, you dummy. Make content about that. And that's kind of what stuck. And so I did that. I've had Big Screen Bearcon for a couple years now. And just recently, the past 2 months, after probably the worst social media slide of my life, who would have thought that just screaming at my wife in a high-pitched Fred voice about universes I'm passionate about, like Pixar, would be the thing that kind of takes it to the next level for me.
Oh, so good. Erik, I know you and I have fought over whether movies are good or not. But this today is going to be a completely different fight, and a completely different fight for our show because we've never done this.
Yeah, we're going blue sky here, which is something that I don't think we ever thought we would do when we started this, because we were picking off of things that already existed. Mm-hmm. Now we're talking about things that don't exist. But again, based on movies that we all know and love, and that's why Berkan is a perfect judge to assess us here today. So I'm interested. We talked about who has the first pick today, and I honestly think it really doesn't matter because you and I have much different tastes, and these picks are just going to be all over the board, I think.
That's true. It should be a lot of fun. And Berkan, we've got some crazy rules that we are putting in place. Usually our rule is you have to have experienced it. Well, you can't experience this because it hasn't happened yet. We haven't built this ride in a park yet, but we are going to say you have to have watched the movie. You have to choose a live action movie, which is nuts. And you have to put this attraction that you are pitching in this case in a specific theme park. You can only do one per park. What do you think of these rules? Because I'm already confused.
I think you guys are in for a challenge for sure. And Disney kind of screwed you guys over a little bit opening Tron, because that's really the go-to live action choice.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm not laden in on anything here, but National Treasure just doesn't have the Tron effect, you know? Like I can't, so we'll see what we end up taking. But Erik, oh boy, you get the first pick in this one. You said you don't think it's that much of an advantage. I think it is. This is going to be huge.
Well then, I want to are we just getting right into this? Are we going around one right now?
Why not? Drafting the
All
magic.
right.
Here we go.
All right. So here's the interesting, normally when I write out my list, I do my top 5. Like, this is what I want to do. And then I have like the backup list that I choose from. I couldn't do that with this. So I have a giant list of about, I don't know, a dozen or so things that I want to go with, but I couldn't rank them. So because I don't know how to do this. So I just wrote them all down, what the type of attraction is. Now, to be more specific also, we're not just doing attractions. It has to be somewhat of a motion ride. This isn't just, we're not just picking shows or
no Mickey no Mickey's Philhar Magic, whatever it's actually called.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mickey's Philhar Magic. Yeah.
There it is.
Nothing like that. So ride.
It's a great show, but
correct. All right. So round 1. Pick one. Oh my God. I don't even know. I'm just looking at this. Okay. So the first thing I thought about is a bit of a low-hanging fruit, because I think everybody has discussed this at some point in time, and I've always wanted to see it come to fruition. And I think the park that I'm putting this in is a little bit selfish of me, because I want it in my backyard, being out here in Southern California, and I want it in DCA. And I know DCA is going Pixar heavy with IP and Marvel and all that stuff, but man, do I want another roller coaster in that theme park. I don't know where you'd put it. You could figure it out, but I want a roller coaster based on the Emperor's New Groove, and I'm taking that at number 1. Here in our first Blue Sky concept draft.
Oh my goodness, that's a heavy hitter right out of the gates.
That was easily number 1 on my list. I mean,
was it really?
Easily, dude. I don't know if I would have put it in California, but I love the Emperor's New Groove. Patrick Warburton would have to take a trip over from Soren to do the voice of Kronk.
I feel like he'd do it. He'd do it in a heartbeat. I bet.
Oh, absolutely,
1000%. But boy, that is a good pick. Berkan, what do you think of Emperor's New Groove?
Obviously, iconic classic film that my wife quotes constantly. Listen, I don't know if obviously you guys never have, but if you've been to Disney with me, my wife, and her brother-in-law, 90% of the time, my brother-in-law and my wife are just quoting Kronk. So I need to see it happen for sure.
That's completely acceptable. I love that.
So good. I'm so mad that you took that from me.
With this being such an open concept for a draft, I really didn't think that you and I would have anything near each other, and to hear you say that stuns me.
Dude, that's nostalgia. That's one of the best picks. That takes I'm not even kidding. That was number 1 on my list. But so I'm gonna go in a different Yeah. That's man. Because it's the greatest, probably one of, if not the most underrated Disney movies. The comedy, you put David Spade in anything, and I usually love it. Oh my gosh.
We do have the same comedy sense. Like we are very dry. We have the dry humor. So that that makes sense there. But wow, that stuns me more than being able to get it.
It wasn't like I thought of like movies myself, like what I would think just naturally. And honestly, it wasn't on my list.
Ah,
But now that you said it,
Shoot.
it's kind of like a glass shattering in my brain.
oh, how great would it be to have an Emperor's New Groove attraction? Oh my goodness! All right,
Here's
well,
to hoping.
in my first round pick, second overall, I'm going to go live action because I feel like I have to get this off the board, and it was in the plan for Epcot.
Oh
And
boy.
so I'll put it at Epcot anyway. I need a Mary Poppins attraction. One of the best live action movies. Your reaction tells me that was a dumb pick, but I am looking at the long list of live action options, and there aren't many. So I'm
There's
going
not a lot.
Disney. I'm going Disney classic with this, and I'm going on a Mary Poppins attraction in Epcot. Why not? It was supposed to be there anyway.
What type of attraction?
What type of attraction? Don't give me a spinner like they had. Apparently, they had set up a teacups. No, it deserves better than that. Give me a dark ride. I mean, give me a slow ride. It doesn't need to be something insanely crazy, but it again, for if you're looking at the long list of attractions or rather of movies that made Disney popular back in the day, Mary Poppins is on the list. And yes, it has a little animation, so judge can decide whether it's live action, but it better be. But that's where I'm going. Berkan, your reaction was not great on this. I'm gonna be honest.
Honestly, it's just funny because literally yesterday I was sitting in my living room with my wife and my father-in-law, and we were talking about the new things I've been putting in Epcot with like Celebration and everything like that. And we were talking about the Mary Poppins ride that was supposed to be there before COVID happened. And the debate was, is this a blessing in disguise? But I don't have anything against a Mary Poppins ride. I'm not the biggest fan of Mary Poppins. I mean, I appreciate it, but it just never was my spoonful of sugar.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Thank you very much. But I appreciate that Epcot needs a little bit more attractions. I think Guardians is a big boost for the land, but so I was saying that I'm sad that it's one less attraction in Epcot, but I was also saying maybe this is an opportunity to come up with a different idea.
Well,
but I guess with London, I don't know what else you can really do.
I agree that it's not the best. I'm gonna get fired for this. I don't think it's the best movie. I mean, it's a good movie, but it's not. But I think that when everyone saw the concept art that leaked of this, oh, we're just gonna do teacups indoor.
Yeah.
Everyone hated that, right? Like nobody was like, oh man, we really wanted that. And so I think yes, in a way, blessing in disguise, because they can kick that right out the window and maybe think of something a little bit more, I don't know, innovative. They don't really do that anymore. Erik?
A part of me is scared that if it did happen, it also wouldn't have been the classic. It would have been the Emily Blunt sequel. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I could handle spinning teacups with Lin-Manuel Miranda yelling at me.
That's what you need, 2 headaches.
That's a great point.
I love his work. I love his work, but it wouldn't be, I don't think it would have been the original Mary Poppins.
That's a great point.
Maybe some Easter eggs, but
right.
I never would have thought of that, but that's...
yeah, I agree with that assessment also, because we try to capitalize on the newest, right, the latest and greatest, as they say. I internally was laughing at this pick because I came so close to texting Christian yesterday. One of the things you can't do is select something that was previously announced, and they decided not to build it.
I'm choosing a different ride.
And I did not send, and I never sent the text. I didn't press send.
Well, apparently that's a good thing for you because he didn't love the pick. But regardless, going to the second round, Erik, you don't have to go live action here, I suppose, but I could take all your favorite live actions and just wreck you. So I'm just...
Gosh, I wonder if you know my favorite live actions. That's the interesting part. Anyway, I'm not going to go live action here. I do have a couple of them in my back pocket. I'm going to hang on to them mostly because I don't think you're going to take another live action. I think that was your selection, and you're not going to double up on that. I am, however, going to go to Epcot as well, and this is where I don't know that I need to do this so early, but I want to because I've been waiting to talk about it. This is a double blue sky idea for me.
Oh boy,
this is not just a ride, because I'm at Epcot, right? I want a whole new pavilion to house this particular ride.
Ooh.
And it's going to be a dark ride. And I'm going Hercules, man. I want a Grease pavilion, and I want to put Hercules in the Grease pavilion. And I hope the executives listen to this show. They won't. I hope they listen to it and hear me out and get
Just
that one
their
in.
DMs.
Exactly. Give me Hercules at number 2 in a non-existent Grease pavilion.
That is ridiculous that you
He's
took
coming
that from
for you.
me.
He's coming for you.
Yeah, he didn't. I thought Mary Poppins was a good pick, but geez, he's going for the throat. Wow. What do you think of Hercules, sir?
Obviously an iconic Disney film. I'm not too. It's a live action movie that scares me a little bit. That's coming. So I'd hope again we're not talking like recency bias, and if this land would be done into to match whatever live action that's coming soon. Like it's if they ever did do it, I think I'd be first in line. The music itself in the land would be enough to get me going for a 6-hour wait.
I don't need anything else in that land playing in the background music. I just need that soundtrack, and like honestly,
you need nothing else. And you know what? There's potential if you play your cards right. And this was a conversation I had probably not my last trip to Disney, but the second to last trip I had to Disney World. In line for Space Mountain, we were talking about like worlds, and we talked about a Greek mythology world centered around Hercules, but there is an avenue you can go even further with that pavilion and add to it, but I don't know if I should say it because I don't want to disqualify anyone's future answers.
Interesting.
Honestly, I would just I do like this pick, Eric. I would settle for Michael Bolton just making weird noises throughout the entire land. That's not bad. Okay. Well, I feel like you have an upper hand here.
See, I'd handle a Hercules spin ride if Danny DeVito was the one yelling at me.
Oh, 100%.
I'd pay to go on it. I'd pay extra money. Go.
Lightning lane.
Get that ILL
oh my
in.
Gosh. All right. Well, all right. I'm going to go what I think is a heavy hitter, but you probably won't, and that'll just, sink me, and that's fine. But I'm going to Disneyland, and I'm getting rid of an attraction because there's not much room back in Toontown. So I'm getting rid of Roger Rabbit.
Oh boy.
Getting rid of it.
Please go where I hope you're going. Please go where I hope you're going.
I'm really hoping this is where you think I'm going, because otherwise that's going to be a major disappointment. But I need a Goofy movie attraction back in Toontown.
Yes.
Give me, it doesn't have to be necessarily a dark ride, but it doesn't need to be a roller coaster. It can be somewhere in between where it's got some speed. Not Mickey and Minnie's. I mean, I don't know how Mickey and Minnie's is qualified as a slow ride still. It doesn't make sense. But give me a power line scene. Give me a scene where you go through the camp. Like, come on. Why haven't they done that? I don't know why Roger Rabbit is still there. I get the lore of it, but kids don't know who Roger Rabbit is, and that area is built for the kids. I know you need something for adults back there, I guess, but trust me, we'd all be fine if you got rid of Roger Rabbit and put a Goofy movie attraction back there, please.
You could honestly almost make the storyline something similar to Rock and Roller Coaster, right? You're trying to get to the Powerline concert.
So here's the thing. So here's the thing. In a video I posted, I think maybe in October, early November, I literally said, like, let's replace a Rock and Roller Coaster with a Powerline theme. Right. And listen, it's not, I don't take credit for that idea because I think it's been floating around for a little bit, but it would work so perfectly. It really would be so crazy.
I'd take that way over the Jonas Brothers rumor that was floating around for a while, because what are we doing? How are you trying to make people hate the idea of pulling Aerosmith even more than they already do? Oh my gosh. Well, Eric, what do you think of a Goofy movie? Have you even seen it? I feel like that falls on the list of movies you haven't seen.
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it multiple times. I know it's shocking to hear that. And, Berkan doesn't know me obviously that much. But I don't watch a ton of movies. I'm a sports guy. So like there's always a game on. It's not that I don't like movies. It's just that, time constraints for me.
I need to teach you the ways of the Force of balancing sports and movies.
I know, it's so hard. See, the problem with me is I will stay up till 11 o'clock at night watching Hawaii play Boise State in a low-level college basketball game. So this is where I have my issues, and I run out of that movie watching time. But
yeah, I totally understand it. And listen, I'm on the state. I'm a diehard. I'm in DFW area, so I'm a diehard Mavericks fan. Sorry to say to any of your listeners, but I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. I get a lot of flack for wearing Cowboys jerseys in some of my videos. How about them boys?
As a 49er fan, I really hope they
geez.
take care of business. I know this show is going to air long after the game is played, but while I have you here, I'm just saying, I hope the boys take care of business.
I hope we take care of business, and then I hope we take care of y'all's business in the playoffs. Listen, I've had enough. Last year when the 49ers beat the Cowboys, my comments was it was brutal. It was a brutal 2-week stretch. But it is a fine balance of watching sports and movies, so there is a way.
Maybe one day I'll figure it out.
Oh, there is a way.
All right, Christian, here we go. Round 3. Now this is where I'm starting to get in the weeds a little bit. I made my 2 big splashes. Now I need to round this out here.
Nobody's picked my obvious choices. So
no.
I think there's a lot of good potential.
Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna grab this one. I'm also going to Disneyland because I need more time to think. So I'm gonna take one of my later picks now. And I too am going with the strategy of getting rid of something and replacing it. So I'm gonna go to my all-time favorite land, which right now is the most criticized part of all of Disneyland Park, and that's Tomorrowland.
Because it sucks.
Right. It's my favorite concept for a land, and it was my favorite land growing up, and it still is my favorite land and will always be. And you can love something so much that it needs to change, which is quite the understatement of the century, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
My beloved first attraction I ever worked at, Star Tours.
Are you getting rid of it?
Getting rid of it.
No way.
I would.
It's a good choice.
Yeah. Look, I'm not here to go nuts on the place that gave me my first job ever at Disney, but I was never a huge fan of it, mostly because of the technology, because that old video was blurry and I never really loved it. And what do? I go get hired and they go, "You're going to Star Tours." And I was like, wonderful. I enjoyed every minute of working the attraction. I just didn't like the attraction itself so much. So I'm getting rid of Star Tours and I'm going to take it back to Adventures Through Inner Space type concept. So get the simulators out of there. Let's go back into the past and give me a dark ride based on WALL-E. I want WALL-E in the lineup. You can ride if it's an Omnimover type, almost like the Doom buggies, but those chairs that they rode in right in the movie.
Yeah,
you're going through just the whole timeline of the film, or maybe even a different new concept. But I want a WALL-E dark ride to replace Star Tours at number 3.
I'm gonna let you give your thoughts on that before I jump in here.
I am perplexed. I think
that's what I'm here for.
Listen, I feel shameful saying this when I'm wearing a Pixar hat. I think WALL-E is a bit overrated. I'm sorry to say so. But I don't fault the idea because I like the idea of adding more Pixar content to. I know Disneyland California Adventure has been doing a good job of that. But I think the Magic Kingdoms, the Disneylands, they need more Pixar representation. And I like the vision of putting WALL-E there. I personally feel WALL-E has always been more of a robot walking around interaction, attraction-ish, quotes on attraction. There's a different Tomorrowland Tomorrowland ride that I think could take that idea even further, but I'll save my thoughts.
And still eligible. I can take one more to go into Disneyland if I wish.
This is true.
I gotta find it. I gotta find it.
I don't hate the pick. I don't hate the pick, especially because I know just because I don't like a movie doesn't mean the mass amount of people will agree with my opinion. So
That's
that's
true.
that's a skill I've had to learn as a content creator.
That is true. But now my opinion, and this is coming from someone who had to host a Wally movie night at a location that I work at. I hate Wally. Wally
Oh,
is
there we
one of the
go. I'm not
Wally.
crazy.
I'm sorry. Wally is one of the most boring movies. Like, gosh, I didn't, like we want silent films back. Just watch Wally because it's basically a silent film until all the lazy humans show up.
Now hold on a minute. Did I say the ride is you sitting in a theater watching the movie?
No, but
Okay, so then why does it matter if you hate the movie or not?
because
See,
you're right.
That's your
right.
saving grace. That's your saving grace is that you're not watching the movie
You're
on
right.
the ride.
You're
Like
right.
it could. There's
Yeah.
definitely rides that could have a terrible movie, but they can be remembered. Their legacy can be being great attractions. I am 100% on that mode, which is why I say I don't hate the pick. But if you're making me watch the movie Wall-E, then I don't think that movie's very rewatchable.
I will never make anybody watch that movie because, truth be told, I didn't love it, but the character is endearing. I think
Yes,
the two of them.
there are special moments and special themes in the movie. I'll give you that. Like it could definitely pass as a good attraction for sure.
Well, I think anything could pass as a good attraction in Tomorrowland, so that's not saying much at this point. But it's robotic. There's space. Let's pretend that space equals future. Sure. Yeah. All right. There you go. Tomorrowland, and you're taking out Star Tours. Wow. I mean,
There's a Star Wars land
Yeah, let's be real.
already in the park.
There's no once
a place
Galaxy
anymore.
Edge was
Yep.
open, there's no need for Star Tours. I mean,
I agree. I just don't think that Star Tours is the first attraction you tear down. I mean, there's quite a couple of other blemishes in Star Wars or in Star Wars in Tomorrowland, but to each their own. But I don't like the movie. It's funny. I talked to my wife about this list as we were getting set up, and I mentioned Wall-E as a attraction or a movie that didn't have attraction, and it was the quickest no I've ever heard. So, because it's just not a great movie. All right.
So, but wait a minute. But you brought it up and thought about it.
I was just going through.
If it was a quick no, you wouldn't have even.
I was just reading a list of of movies that don't have attractions. So I'm gonna go. All right, round 3. I'm gonna go to the Magic Kingdom, and the Magic Kingdom has a lot of good dark rides, and I'm going to add a flume attraction. We're getting on a boat ride, and it needs to be indoors.
There's only one answer. There's only one correct answer.
Man. And I'm gonna get it wrong. So here we go.
Hey, you got Goofy. You're 1 for 2.
That's true. I'm 1 for 2. They already have an area that is decorated like this.
There we go.
But it's the bathrooms. Give me a Tangled attraction.
There we go.
Come on. Oh, thank goodness I got
Wait. You're 75% there.
Okay.
You got to finish it off.
Well, you need to have a scene with the floating lanterns at the end. Is that what you're referring to?
But there's a key element to this.
Ooh.
It needs to replace Small World.
Whoa. That is a hot take. Granted,
it's a hot take.
Granted, it's Disney World Small World and it's awful. But it's still an internationally recognized attraction. That's a hot take.
I never understood the appeal of Small World. I've done it. I've given it its chance multiple times. I just can't do it. You cannot tell. I have a rule, like when I ride rides, I'll tell people like, okay, yeah, I'd wait 30 minutes for it. I wait 15 minutes for it. You couldn't pay me to walk on Small World. I'm sorry. So to me, that was like on my list.
It's close enough. The restrooms are right there. It's close enough.
I would just go for it. I would gut it.
Oh, okay.
I have no problem getting rid of Small World at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can keep one. You can keep one of them.
It shouldn't. That is one that should have never been duplicated anywhere. Because of its history. That's And
Disneyland has you have this amazing presentation of it. Like my first time I went to Disneyland, I felt like I actually had to do Small World, which is a big statement for me to make. But Disney World, I don't think I've ever even been on the Disney World Small World, to be honest with you.
I think I've done it once.
There's nothing that can That can get me on that ride.
And if we are doing Small World in Disney World, if we're taking that, then you're going to probably retheme the restaurant that overlooks it. So then you have a Tangled restaurant there too, and it's called, I don't know, maybe the Snuggly Duckling.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. I'm not. I know that restaurants weren't part of this plan, but
no,
I'm
it
just
works.
saying this is a pretty good.
It works.
Disney Imagineering, are you listening?
2 for 3. See, you have hope. 2 for 3.
So it sounds like we're 2 for 3 both here.
Genuinely though.
Yeah.
Genuinely,
you guys are you're coming in with some good takes. I appreciate it.
I love Tangled. I think Tangled lost a lot of steam because it was released right around when Frozen was released, and Frozen took a lot of the popularity. Tangled is a great movie as far as Disney princess films go. You know, you adapt a very, very long historied tale of Rapunzel, and you made it a really good one. And she uses my favorite weapon of choice, a frying pan. I love that. That's the best. So give me a Tangled attraction here in round 3, and I feel pretty good about that. Erik, you get to go to round 4 now.
Yeah, I'm struggling.
Ooh. Really quick before Erik gives his answer, I have a weird talent. I have a very strange ability to remember when movies were released. So I gotta fact check you a little bit. Tangled did come out before Frozen.
It did. But then
I think it was November 2010.
I'm looking it up.
I believe. I could be wrong. It could be November 2011, but it was definitely a couple years.
It was 2010, so it was
there
3 years before.
Oh, now I gotta finish it off and guess the date. November 15th.
24th, Thanksgiving.
So close.
and I'm not. It came in that little era of once Frozen came, nobody remembered what happened 5 years ago.
Yeah, so. I think it was a weird era where Disney movies didn't. It was kind of like the Disney in between the Disney adult phase, I think, where a lot of people weren't really they weren't appreciating Disney movies as for everybody, and I think Frozen kind of kicked that off back. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I just had to. Quick adjustment.
Yeah.
As a movie guy.
Hey, that's okay. All right, Erik. Now to round 4.
Oh boy. I'm down to my final 2 picks. I've got 15 things written down here. And my confidence level is waning. I've got to get back up here. I'm sure all the silence that I'm leaving will be edited out by Christian later on. That way this doesn't sound terrible. But
I think you leave it.
I know, build the drama. This one may be a little controversial. It may be. I don't know. My mind's all over the place right now. I'm trying to recover. When you have attractions that can be based on holidays, I know you run into a little bit of a problem, but I think this particular one could work all year round. And I want to go to Hollywood Studios. And I don't know where it would go. My guess is, gosh, where could you put it? Clearly, I'm working on a whim now, but I think it could go somewhere down by Tower of Terror in any of the space over there. Now, I also do want to point out, Christian and I talked about practicality of where these attractions could go. We're not drafting based on that. There is no practicality. We just want to see these rides being built somewhere inside.
There are no
parks.
Property lines.
Please.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They destroy everything out in that forest out there anyway. So what's the difference?
Or right on the 5 freeway at Disneyland. Who cares?
Yeah. Just put it. We can make the traffic go under it or something. I don't know. But let me go to Disney's Hollywood Studios and give me probably one of my favorite traditions of all time. I want a Hocus Pocus dark ride.
Whoa.
I think that would work somewhere out near Tower of Terror and kind of that dark corner. I think it would hit real well, especially during the holiday seasons, of course, but I think it could work year round because of the cult classic, the cult following that it's gained over the years. So give me Hocus Pocus at number 4.
Man,
that's my live action. Obviously, that's my live action.
I haven't seen Hocus Pocus.
Wow.
I know. That's one of the few.
All right, that's the homework I'm giving you for today.
I'll do it. I'm gonna go one further, and on Christmas Day I'll watch Hocus Pocus. Just to
Okay.
truly test your theory that it can be all year long.
Ooh, I like that.
I like it.
I like that. Hocus Pocus, not a big favorite of mine, to be honest. So I don't love all the lore around it, but I think that there's certainly I am certainly seeming to be in the minority of that, because boy did it catch a lot of steam, especially when they had the characters dress up as the ladies in was it Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or whatever it was called, the parade.
Yep.
Like
I just saw that for the first time this year.
it's a good parade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was crazy.
There's clearly a want for it, so I'll give that to you. Congratulations, Eric. So I have two more picks, and I'm gonna go with. Boy, am I gonna avoid Pixar completely? I think I will. I know.
It's okay, I'll forgive you.
Actually, I might not. There's one on my list, and I think it's a sneaky pick. That we'll get to, but I'm going to go to Disney California Adventure because I don't know where else to put this attraction. So I'm going to do it. Give me another roller coaster, but give me a Hawaiian roller coaster ride, because I need a Lilo and Stitch roller coaster, because Stitch currently does not have an attraction because they took out the monstrosity that was Stitch's Great Escape. I don't know where to put this. I can't go to Magic Kingdom or Disneyland with Tomorrowland, so I kind of pigeonhole myself, but I love Lilo and Stitch. I think that that too, along with Emperor's New Groove and even Hercules, but some of those other late 90s, early 2000s attraction or movies are picking up a lot of steam. Give me a Lilo and Stitch attraction. It doesn't seem like I got a great reaction out of our
No. This is a good reaction.
Okay.
I see the vision. I love Lilo and Stitch. I'm wearing Lilo and Stitch on my sweater.
Yeah, you are.
So, I'm not. I see the vision. I do. I'm just honestly. I'm more. Any negative reaction is more just bummed that I never got to experience said monstrosity.
It was so. What used to be there was Alien Encounter, and that was highly regarded as one of Disney's scariest things they've ever done in a theme park.
Totally.
And so they were like, oh, let's make it easy for kids. And so they made it Stitch. And instead of like evil smells of aliens, you got Stitch burping a chili dog in your face. Like, there was just certain things that you trust me, you didn't miss much.
You didn't.
That's all I'm going to say.
I remember back when I went in 2016 for the first time as like an adult, because I went when I was like 4, and then I didn't go back until my freshman year of college, and then I haven't been able to stop since. But I remember I was excited to experience it for the meme, for the culture.
Sure.
And it closed on me.
It's
super bummed.
That's like Rocket Rods here at the Disneyland Resort, and I never got to go on, but I've been told it's a blessing in disguise because the ride sucked. So that's what I'll tell you. Stitch closing on you was a blessing in disguise. Eric, what do you think of Lilo and Stitch?
First of all, Rocket Rods were fine. Calm down. All right. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Was it what it should have been and what it could have been? Absolutely not. But they were fun.
Fair enough. What do you think of Lilo and Stitch?
I'll let you know when I see the movie eventually.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No.
I'm there's
friendship over.
Decent chance this is my last episode because of that.
You're fine. I'm coming in. I'm replacing.
Hold on. So I think if he's gonna watch Hocus Pocus on Christmas, I think you have to watch Lilo and Stitch on Christmas.
Yeah, two very obvious Christmas movies.
I would also like to point out Christmas this year is on a Monday, and there are 3 football games that day. So maybe I'll try to work it in.
Listen, who's playing on a Monday? Is it the fake primetime games we've been getting all year? So, because this has not been a good track record.
All right, my Niners are playing on Christmas this year, so I gotta.
All right, I'll give you that one game.
Yeah. Well, and then I think Eagles Giants is one, which is big for me, even though I know the Giants have no chance. And then I can't remember the other one. Anyway, back to the Disney podcast we were doing.
Hold on. Raiders Chiefs.
Raiders Chiefs.
That.
That's right.
Anyway, keep going.
That's the morning game. Yeah. I think it's also going to be simulcast on Nickelodeon, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, all right. Anyway, the
Toy Story NFL broadcast. There you go.
Right?
Spin.
We got to get that going.
Spin.
How
Gotta
much
get that
how much
going
money
again.
can we spend on something that doesn't work?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have no reason to have not seen it, and I'm not like boycotting it or anything. I just haven't. That's all.
You're
all
just
it
waiting
is.
for the live action remake. I get it.
okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's that too. Yeah, I can't wait for that to see that on Disney Plus 3 months after it's theatrical. Well, no, it'll do well in theaters because people will go see it whether they hate it or love it. It doesn't make a difference. Yeah, yeah. So I just haven't. I've got nothing against it. I'm sure a roller coaster would work out quite well if it were to be built.
And it has to be the red one, by the way. That's a Lilo and Stitch reference.
Yeah,
that
100%.
you don't even know, Eric, but it's got to be the red one.
100%.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's wonderful.
Ah,
I think that's one of the best things we do on the show here is just annoy people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I'm glad to be part of that train again.
that's my content strategy.
Yeah.
It's truly the negative. There's nothing like negative engagement.
No, any publicity is good publicity. Let's go. All right, so I guess it's a good pick. I don't know. Good job, Field. All right, I gotta bring it home here. Several choices. Now, I will say this out loud. I am making a strategic decision not to touch Moana, not to touch Encanto, and not to touch Coco. I know that nothing aside from what is it, the Journey of Water at Epcot. Aside from that, any other attractions surrounding those three properties has not been officially announced, really. But because the company said something about it, I wanted to stay away from that because I think that's too easy.
Yep.
So I'm going to stay away from those. Although I think they would have been great picks if they would have said nothing and let me and Christian do our job for crying out loud. Jeez. With my last selection, and again, controversial, but me trying to mix things up, I've taken 3 dark rides and a roller coaster. So I'm going to stay away from a dark ride or a roller coaster here. And I think one of the biggest surprises to me, as somebody who's not a huge simulator fan, and I hate screens is the hot topic of discussion nowadays. But the way that Flight of Passage was built and executed is just absolutely stunning.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to see something like that in a classic movie that is very extraordinarily underrated. And this movie ended up having two films, so you can kind of
Wait, it was one a straight to DVD release?
Was it Cinderella too?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it was. It may have been.
Okay.
You're going to tell me here in a minute. I'm going to put this, and I'm going back to Epcot because I'm allowed to. I'm going back to Epcot, and I'm going double blue sky again because I want to see a Flight of Passage type attraction of the Rescuers in the Australia Pavilion.
Dear Lord.
And that's where I'm wrapping it up at. You're welcome. Both of you are welcome.
I don't know what dear Lord means, but
Why Epcot?
In Australia, because in Australia.
But the Animal Kingdom is right there.
No.
They already have
You're
Flight
right.
of Passage.
You're riding you're riding an eagle for crying out loud.
Yeah, but but Flight of Passage is already there.
Yeah, that's true. But Soarin's in Epcot.
Yeah, but Soarin's not Flight of
argument.
But Soarin's not Flight of Passage.
That's
It's halfway.
You're right
it's
about
halfway.
that.
Yeah,
It's halfway to Flight of Passage.
That's a pick.
I'll take it. I'll take it as that's a pick. The Rescuers is good. I loved the everyone else say I'll hate it. I loved the Chippendale Rescue Ranger weird.
That movie was fun.
Disney Plus weird thing.
That was a scavenger hunt of a lifetime.
That movie was hilarious, by the way. I was
they
laughing
legally
like
snuck in Batman versus E.T.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
That was wonderful.
So
Peter Pan's antagonist as like an old I don't, he's a guy with many addictions.
Yeah.
It seems.
that's a PG way of putting it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the Rescuers, interesting.
Hey, you gotta take risks to win the game, man.
You gotta take a risk. I just don't know if you made contact with the ball on that one.
All right. Well,
But you definitely swung.
Yeah.
Which I respect.
it's like the
All right.
Angels in free agency this year. Anyway,
Woof.
for my last pick, I am going to go
Don't
to
be wrong. Don't be wrong. Don't be wrong. Don't be wrong.
Don't be wrong. Well, I feel like I would argue there are a number of ways I could go here, but I think that I'm like, okay, so I will say the reason I'm not taking Zootopia to Animal Kingdom is because they announced they're doing a show there. And so in my mind, I guess it's not a moving attraction, but in my mind, Zootopia, I mean, first off, that'd be the easiest punt I've ever taken. But secondly, I have another attraction that I want to take. Oh my gosh, this could ruin me. I'm looking at two different movie names and it could ruin me. I'm gonna go to Hollywood Studios because I don't know where else this could go. I genuinely don't. But Hollywood Studios is such a mishmash of look, we just make movies. So I'm gonna go to Hollywood Studios, and this is gonna be a driving attraction. A driving attraction. Much like the Autopias of the world, but give me a Wreck-It Ralph attraction. One of my favorite movies. I love the second one more than the first one even, but I love the racing environment. I think Wreck-It Ralph would work for that. Or gosh, just overlay Tomorrowland with something. I don't care. Give me a Wreck-It Ralph attraction as my final pick. Honestly, the only other one, and I'll just say it right now since nobody can take it now. I was debating Luca to Animal Kingdom, but
okay.
That was gonna be my Pixar pick, but I'm gonna stick it in the ground with Wreck-It Ralph to Hollywood Studios because
I think you made a good decision with that one.
Oh well, thank you.
Choice.
I don't know where else to put them, because I don't think it has a theme that fits anywhere. Besides,
and you can just replace Lightning's Racing Academy.
Yeah, yes, get rid of it. The way, dude, I have an almost 2-year-old. We're going in less than a month, and I know I'm gonna have to.
My condolences.
Anyway, what do you think of Wreck-It Ralph? Let's not talk about my Disney World trip. What do you think of Wreck-It Ralph? I don't know, to Hollywood Studios.
I think it is a natural fit, like you said. I think it's a good choice. They're already starting to kind of implement a little bit more of Wreck-It Ralph. I don't see why it shouldn't have an attraction. It's a good movie. You know, it's colorful. It has obvious ride themes. So with the go-kart, Mario Kart ripoff ride attraction. And then with that, I can't remember the antagonist, the villain's name, but with him throwing a bunch of obstacles and destroying the racetrack as you go, it's right there. It's totally right there.
Put it by where they have that Star Wars launch bay garbage. It's just that empty courtyard at this point.
You know what? You can take it. The format's kind of right there too. I don't know if you guys want to. I won't name drop the other park in Orlando in LA. I don't know those rules. Okay,
you can. It's fine.
Okay, well, Universal's Mario Kart ride. I don't know if you guys had a chance to ride it yet.
My significant other is actually an employee of Universal Studios Hollywood. So yes, I have been on it a few times, and it is incredible.
Yeah, well, I think it could go a little bit further, because I love the concept of that ride. It's just not. I think it's a little bit too slow. But the saving grace is it's innovative, and always the first innovative ride can always have room for improvement. I think you take Wreck-It Ralph in that environment, it could go a long way.
Ooh, there we go. What do you think, Eric? Have you seen Wreck-It Ralph?
Yes, I've seen Wreck-It Ralph, and I very much enjoy Wreck-It Ralph, but I'm sitting here regretting the fact that I should have sent that text message to you saying if the company announced something and didn't build it, it shouldn't be eligible. Because if you recall, they were going to put something Wreck-It Ralph in where Lilo or where Stitch's Great Escape was, and they didn't do it.
I didn't know that.
So damn it, I should have sent that text message.
I thought that was just going to be like a pop-up store.
No, it was supposed to be like a virtual reality thing where you were wearing a visor and everything.
Well, that doesn't count.
So exactly like the Mario right then. Bowser Challenge. See, I should be Imagineer. Well, we're in the right headspaces.
There you go. Well, before we get to Eric giving us our list so that we can go down this again, Berkan, can you give us any movies that we should have hit that should have been on this list that we just didn't touch?
Yeah, so you got two of mine with Tangled and oh dang, what was the second one? Was it a Goofy movie?
Goofy
It may have
movie.
been a
Goofy.
Goofy movie.
You got two of mine. The ones I would have Atlantis is a big one. I think you just rip out Nemo's submarine voyage and make it Atlantis. If you can, at the bare minimum, the movie deserves much more than that, but at the bare minimum, I think Treasure Planet is a big one that can be an exciting one that could go in Epcot. I mean, you just going to that little moon space station, whatever it's officially called. I mean, that alone is just the coolest transition in, I think, Disney movies. So having a ride based around that would be great. And then what I was alluding to earlier about the Hercules Pavilion adding on to it, depending on how Percy Jackson goes, there's potential there. There's some big, I mean, talk about a IP that everybody is head over heels about. So I don't know, that would have been my 5 for sure.
That's not a bad thought, especially on the Atlantis one. First off, I think, and Erik is putting another Pixar attraction in Star Tours in his Wally pick. But if you're going to open up an area called Pixar Pier, good Lord, move it all over there. Nemo deserves to be over there. You could have a Nemo swimming in the water. I don't know.
I thought when you talked about replacing Star Tours, I thought you were going with Treasure Planet. I was like, that's where it could fit too, as well.
That'd have been a good one.
But
had I seen it.
Oh, it's one you got to see it. I don't fault you as much for that one because I feel like a lot of people actually haven't seen Treasure Planet, although it's amazing. My wife just saw it for the first time a few months ago, actually. So I don't fault you for that one, but it's incredible. And then, but I am with you on maybe adding some Pixar pizzazz to Tomorrowland. Another one I thought would have been, I've said on my page before that I would replace Space Mountain with Meet the Robinsons, or
that was another one I thought about was Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah, but then I know Meet the Robinsons isn't Pixar, but it popped in my head, so I had to say it. But I said earlier that you can have a bad movie, but the attraction can make its legacy. I thought Space Mountain being replaced with Lightyear would have been a good opportunity for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't know how they would have. I mean,
it's
Buzz Lightyear would have had to go away or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe it could be complimentary to it, but I don't know. I rewatched Lightyear recently, and his whole journey of trying to like catch a certain speed going around the sun and back. I was like, that's Space Mountain ride right there.
Right.
Yeah, that's not.
That's a good point. All right, let's run down these picks, and this is going to be the most expansive review of picks I've ever done because there's a lot of information here. So we'll start with my picks. I had number 1 overall, Emperor's New Groove roller coaster in DCA, Hercules Dark Ride in Epcot, Wally Dark Ride in Disneyland, Tomorrowland specifically, a Hocus Pocus Dark Ride at Disney's Hollywood Studios, the Rescuers Flight Simulator, as I'm going to call it, at Epcot, more of a Flight of Passage aligned attraction there. For Christian, his number 1 overall, he went a Mary Poppins Dark Ride in Epcot. I assume in the UK pavilion.
No, I was gonna put it in the American pavilion, Erik.
His number 2 pick, he went a Goofy Movie Dark Ride in Toontown, specifically to replace Roger Rabbit. A Tangled Flume Ride in the Magic Kingdom in Florida. Lilo and Stitch roller coaster, Disney California Adventure. And a Wreck-It Ralph driving attraction at Disney Hollywood Studios. Berkan, I turn it over to you. Who won this episode of Drafting the Magic?
This one was, it's close. Do you guys want me to like go through like each round, like who won, or
that is completely up to you.
You're the judge.
If you want to go that route,
I'm slow. I need a process.
He's got to figure out how he's officially judging it first.
Well, okay. We'll start with round 1. Emperor's New Groove versus Mary Poppins.
not even a question.
So it's almost cruel to go into that one. Yeah, so I think Erik takes that one.
For sure. I'm not even mad about it. I'm not even mad about it.
I'm still stunned that we had the same idea on that one.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest with you. I didn't think that would happen.
So 1-0 Erik. Round 2, Hercules versus Goofy movie. Although I love the idea of a Goofy movie, I still think it has to go to Hercules.
Oh,
just because like I do love the idea of listening to Eye to Eye on like a ride and
thought I was feeling good in that round, but all right.
The potential, it was the details that got you. The potential of the Greek pavilion with Hercules and where that can go. I think I'd be a little bit more excited to see that. Let's see, round 3. Remind me what round 3 was.
Wall-E versus Tangled.
Oh, Tangled.
Yeah.
Tangled has to win there for sure. Round 4. That was the Rescuers versus Wreck-It Ralph.
That was the last one. So 4 was Hocus Pocus and Lilo.
Oh yeah, Lilo and Stitch has to win this one.
Yeah, you haven't seen.
I told you.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Now this last one is.
It's kind of a toss-up.
You didn't start off strong. But I think as a consumer, I would go with Wreck-It Ralph. I want to see that happen.
Does that mean I win this thing? 3-2?
I think that means you win this one.
Am I off of the losing streak? Oh my god!
Oh, did I just snap a losing streak?
You're 10. What was it? 8 or 10?
No, it wasn't
8.
that much. It was like 4 recently.
And you're wearing an Angel shirt?
It was like 6. It was at least 6.
I don't know. Whatever it was.
We got to go back and look at the stats.
Snapping a losing streak while wearing an Angel shirt. That's something.
Yes. Okay. All right then. Okay. Now this feels personal, but I'll take it with the W. Oh my gosh. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
3-2. It was good. You guys brought some heaters.
And I as you were going through your list, Erik, I was thinking, man, you started off so strong.
Yeah, like, I had a Christian draft.
Yeah. It was.
I went hard in the beginning and failed in the back end. Yeah.
Listen, when it comes to, if we're talking sports, when it comes to that, having the number 1 pick doesn't guarantee you a championship.
Like I said it at the top.
That is the rule of the game, right?
That's true. And even when you're supposed to have the number 1 pick, you don't get it because Chicago gets it. Anyway.
We got a Ducks fan in the house, everyone. We got a Ducks fan in the house.
Whatever. Hey, but I'm so glad that I got the W. I'm finally off the schneid. And Berkan, before you leave us and presumably go and shoot a video where you are yelling at your wife about
that's exactly what's about
drafting
to
the magic life. Tell us where everybody can find you, and you know what you're known for. Give us all the details of your life that you feel like sharing.
Oh my goodness! How much time do we have in this episode? No, yeah, you guys can see me on social medias, obviously with TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Big Screen Berkan. It's a lot of your favorite types of movie content. A lot of fun. I always try to find something creative and different that not everyone else is doing. I'm kind of doing that right now with the whole yelling at my wife in an Alvin and the Chipmunk, or I'm sorry, we're on the Disney podcast in a Dale and Chip voice. My wife is usually the one who comes up with the idea, and then I yell at her for it.
That's
but
awesome.
If you want me to yell at your loved ones, I am on Cameo at Big Screen Berkan too. I did sell my soul, so I will yell at your loved ones for a small fee. And yeah, actually, with me and my best friend, we started a podcast as well. So you can, if you want more content from me, you can check out the Starlog podcast for sure. Maybe we have you guys on one day to talk some Disney stuff because Michael isn't going to do it with me. So,
well, call us. We'll be there.
Absolutely. And I think the last shameless plug is I am an actor as well. So if you want to see me in 30 seconds of Hollywood glory, check out the movie 12 My Orphans. Boom.
Wow, there you go.
I'll look that up here in a moment.
Erik, look at everything we got going on here. Berkan,
that'll be a movie he actually watches. Hopefully.
For 30 seconds.
Exactly.
Berkan, thank you so much for being here, man. This has been a good time. I think Erik and I can agree. This is it. Like Erik said at the beginning, this is a topic we didn't know if we'd ever do, but I think you were the perfect guest judge for it, and you have been a true pleasure, sir. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me. The pleasure is seriously all mine.
Thanks, Berkan. We'll talk to you soon. I got to tell you too, Christian. I mean, we've just opened the floodgates now to a whole new line of drafting for us.
You're not wrong. I think we've broken past the perimeters of Disney parks.
Yep.
So,
I'm like a proud dad.
Yeah.
more to come. Cue up the hallelujah chorus. Oh my God, a streak is dead again. Finally, got another W. And I am actually, this is one of the most proud W's I've had because of this topic. This topic was awesome. Berkan was awesome. This whole episode's been fun, Erik. I know you lost, but it's been fun.
No, had a lot of fun. Love the idea of just kind of coming up with stuff that doesn't exist and seeing what we can do with it. And as a company man, as you well know, I think it's in the best interest of the show to make sure that this remains competitive. So, well done to both of us.
I was going to say, are you saying that you let me win because
I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all.
At this point, I'll take it. Anyway, no, but a great show, I think. And boy, and I can't wait to see the social media reaction on this. And we always put up that question of what would you like to, what old Disneyland ride did you miss that you wanted, or what Disneyland snack is your favorite? I can't wait to see what people drum up on our social media with this.
And this will be probably the one we get the most responses about because, and I think I talked about this on a show a few episodes back about the idea that the theme parks are always evolving and the way they're developed for the future is not going to fit your wants and needs. It's going to fit the future generations' wants and needs. And in this case, when we've opened up the floodgates to be able to select anything we want from the history of the studios here, you're going to get reaction from all age ranges, from all generations saying, no, I wish they would have built this, or you should have said they should build this. And I'm very excited for that. I know you are. And people out there, let us know. Where did we go wrong? I know there's going to be a lot of opinions.
I'm going to put out a challenge to our listeners here. First off, if you don't follow us on social media, get on Instagram and do it because you're going to have that to play this challenge. If you can think up a good concept for a ride based on the Good Dinosaur, I want to hear it. I want to hear it, and I will give you a shout out on a future episode if you do. But I don't think you will because I didn't love that movie.
It's so funny you bring that up. We talk about all these movies that I've not seen. I actually have seen The Good Dinosaur. And when I was making my list, I saw the poster, the movie poster, and I stared at it for 10 minutes trying to figure out, why am I looking at this for 10 minutes? I know I'm not even going to write it down, and I did not.
Although
I just kind of went off into the weeds and thought about, why did they make this movie? But that's a whole other
it would
topic.
be a more animal theme than Indiana Jones. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's not important. What is important is I'm off the schneid. Finally got a W, and we are going to the holidays because we haven't done a festive holiday show yet. Bring your appetite. I can't wait for this next episode.
You hear bells? I hear bells. It's that time of year.